Tom Ford Lost Cherry versus Electric Cherry. How do they compare? Which one is the better fragrance? Let's talk about it. I want to start with the most important criteria about these two, and in my opinion that is performance, because there is a significant difference on my skin when I tested these two fragrances out. On my skin, Lost Cherry, even though it has performance issues on a lot of people, surprisingly lasts around 8 to 10 hours, whereas Electric Cherry on my skin disappointingly lasted 4 to 5 hours. So Lost Cherry on my skin lasts double the amount of hours than Electric Cherry. And in my opinion, Lost Cherry and Electric Cherry, I would have loved for them to last longer than they individually do. So overall, in my books and from my testing, Lost Cherry lasts double the amount of hours of 8 to 10 hours than Electric Cherry on my skin, which only lasts 4 to 5 hours. Another important point about these two fragrances that I want to mention is projection. Projection on Lost Cherry on my skin is around a meter, and Electric Cherry has nice projection of around half a meter as well, but just for the first 10 minutes. On my skin it dries fairly quickly, the depth is not really there, and in order for me to be more transparent and give you the full picture of Electric Cherry, the projection of the fragrance after around 10 minutes is a skin scent. So projection wise, you get more bang for your buck with Lost Cherry, because the projection of around a meter is going to last way longer than the 10 minutes of half a meter of projection from Electric Cherry, based on my skin of course. So Lost Cherry so far wins the comparison in terms of which fragrance is going to be more worth it. Let's not forget to talk about the overall scent profile. Lost Cherry is a dark, syrupy, jammy, dense, rich cherry fragrance, and it also has some balsamic, creamy texture qualities to it as well, especially in the dry down. And so overall, Lost Cherry is a very dense, heavy, syrupy, very rich and deep cherry fragrance. And Electric Cherry is more of a fresh, zesty, slightly citrusy blend with a lot of cherry in it. Not balsamic at all, but slightly more zingy, and unfortunately not as deep, dense and rich as Lost Cherry. So as I mentioned in my first impressions video, this reminded me a little bit of Lost Cherry, but fresher, more wearable, more user-friendly, especially for new people into fragrances and into the Tom Ford private blend world. So they remind me a little bit of each other, but Electric Cherry has dialed it down and is not as offensive, if you might call it that, than Lost Cherry. But let's talk about something else where I think Electric Cherry is actually better. The point where I think Electric Cherry is better than Lost Cherry is fairly reasonable, and especially for people that might either be new into fragrances or for people that want something different and slightly more out there. And I'm of course talking about wearability and versatility. Electric Cherry, in my opinion, is way more versatile than Lost Cherry, because Electric Cherry is a fresher take of Lost Cherry, and what that means and the result of Electric Cherry being, it is a more wearable, versatile and easier to wear cherry fragrance. Electric Cherry can be worn in the spring, summer, possibly at work if you're in an open environment and it's not way too crowded, and you're not possibly going to offend as many people with Electric Cherry compared to Lost Cherry because of the dialed down projection and possibly performance. This will not leave any weird scent trail for some people to be disgusted or offended by than Lost Cherry could, but it's way easier to wear for younger people, for different occasions, and generally for everyday use, whereas in my opinion, Lost Cherry is more wearable in the fall, winter, for special occasions, and for where you want to stand out and you don't care what other people think of your smell. So I think they both have their place, but I think Electric Cherry will appeal to more people, especially for people that are looking for something they can wear on a daily basis. The final point that I want to talk about before giving them both their individual rating is price, and you're going to pay a hefty one for either of the two. On Tom Ford's own website, these are going to be evenly priced. For a 30 ml of either Lost Cherry or Electric Cherry, you're going to pay $250, and for a 50 ml of either of these two, you're going to pay $395. Both very high price points, very expensive, and you might argue that for what you're getting for both of these fragrances fragrances are overpriced. Even though these two cost the same at Tom Ford's own website, Electric Cherry is going to be more expensive than Lost Cherry any other place. So I have mentioned price, performance, projection and scent profiles, and now I want to talk about my final opinion and men's improvement ratings of the two fragrances. I'm going to tell you straight away that I prefer Lost Cherry as a fragrance. There is not a lot of things in terms of the scent profile that can be improved. I think it's a very complete fragrance, but the only ways this could have been improved and possibly get a 10 out of 10 men's improvement rating is if the scent would have lasted of around 12 plus or 15 plus hours, and if the price of Lost Cherry would be the same price as the original private blend Tom Ford fragrances, because this is more expensive than the original Tom Ford private blend fragrances. So if it was the same price as the originals, it would have gotten a higher rating. I am going to give Lost Cherry a men's improvement rating of 9 out of 10. I love this scent, and I've mentioned the two ways that it could have improved in order for it to get a 10 out of 10. But I'm going to speak differently about Electric Cherry because this is nowhere near a 9 out of 10 as a Lost Cherry in my books. With performance of 4 to 5 hours, a projection of half a meter in its first 10 minutes, and otherwise being a skin scent for the same price on Tom Ford's own website as Lost Cherry and more expensive than Lost Cherry elsewhere, it lacks in performance, it lacks in projection, it lacks in depth and richness, and overall I think that Electric Cherry is either a lackluster low quality fragrance, or that this fragrance just lacks in terms of raw materials to make it slightly stronger, to give it a lift, give it a boost. So therefore Electric Cherry is highly overpriced, and because of these factors I'm going to give Electric Cherry a 7.9 out of 10 men's improvement rating. That means that I have rated Tom Ford Electric Cherry the same as I have given Armani Code Parfum, and I think that's fairly reasonable because Armani Code Parfum was, in my opinion, a slightly lackluster fragrance with average projection and average performance, and for the price point it was simply okay. So a 7.9 out of 10 for Electric Cherry in my opinion is very generous, but still fair enough. But in my opinion, Lost Cherry is a way better purchase than Electric Cherry. Gentlemen, did you enjoy this fragrance comparison? Was it informational, and was it a helpful video in order for to choose which one of these two fragrances to really go for? Then I would appreciate if you would smash the like button and subscribe to the Men's Improvement YouTube channel for more videos about fragrance, grooming, style, fashion, skincare, finance, anything that will make you, gentlemen, the best possible versions of yourselves. And I want you to have an amazing day and smile more because it is free.